Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat rated on Prom FM 105.5. This program is being relayed on Radio Gegema, that is in Nimba County, Radio Kwatika in Bon County, and of course our Radio Wologisi in Norfolk County, where our dear president hails from. We are streaming live tonight, as usual, on Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. Again, Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. We are streaming live. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Just tap Nighttime Heat. And of course, as soon as you do, you're going to watch the show online. Again, on our Facebook page, just tap Nighttime Heat. And of course, you follow the show and you share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow tonight. We are also streaming live, like I said, on our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. Again, just tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do, you subscribe and you hit the notification bell so that anytime the show comes on, you are live. You receive the notification, and of course, you follow live and you enjoy the show. So tonight, make sure to share the show. Sabo George is my name. I'll be having one panelist tonight, George Kennedy. I know George will soon be in. Moses Sunny has just called and said he will not have the time because he's swamped tonight with a lot of work at where he is. So you'll not be able to join us tonight. However, we'll have some guests joining us. That is at 8:30. And of course, we're going to talk about two major topics tonight. You know, the debate about the killing of the suspect by a police officer. That debate continues to heighten. So we're going to talk about that. You know, last night the police held a vigil. I'm sure praying for their officers who were wounded. I understand one of the officers supposed to be was expected rather today to undergo additional surgery. So the police yesterday gathered last night at the John F. Kennedy around there, and of course they held that vigil praying for their officers. But the guy called Matthew was shot dead, and of course he was taken earlier to the police station according to Police Inspector General, but then later on he was pronounced dead. We'll be talking about that. A man in handcuffs. How was he placed in handcuffs? And when was he shot? We're going to talk about that when my guests come in. And of course, tonight we'll be looking at 2029. I know you say, well, 2029 is still far, but the political environment continues to spark that interest and debate. And so we'll be talking about 2029. Who's best suited to win the presidency? Well, we have President Joseph Human Boakai to be retained, or we have the VP Kung, Jeremiah Kung, to fill the slot for the UP. In fact, we are hearing also about another name, though not announced yet, but we're hearing that in the air about the Minister of Finance. Well, is it true? We don't know yet, but is it possible that you're going to also occupy the slot for the UP? Well, I know 2029 will be very interesting. Or will it be the CMC, Musa Hassan Bediri, to win the presidency? Or is George Weah coming back for a second time? We'll be talking about that tonight. Or is it the PAP of Senator Sir Joseph? Where Joseph see the executive marshal seat? We're going to talk about that. Or is it maybe a man who's supposed to be announced anytime next year, early next year? We understand. Creighton Duncan. Will Creighton Duncan occupy the presidency? Well, 2029, it's still fine, but tonight we'll be doing some analysis, looking at Cummings and the rest of them. Well, who's best suited, whether to replace Barker or will Barker be retained. We're going to talk about that tonight with our guests. But in the meantime, let's try to play this video. Let me welcome. When I see the microphone, I'm very excited. So let me welcome my panelists, my lone panelists tonight, George Kennedy. George, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, your microphone should be open. Get close to your mic quickly, George.
I'm very sure that it's small.
Okay, fine. Your mic is open now.
Yeah.
Okay, so good evening, George.
Good evening, sir.
And how was the day?
Fine. Just been busy. Just been running up and down.
I know.
But it's okay. We are back again to do the people's job.
Okay. Okay. So very shortly, we're going to play this tape. This boy called Emmanuel Tulu, right? I'm sure you've been following the debate. He was given a scholarship by the former president George Weah. But whether it was a scholarship is in Weah's, was a personal scholarship, but Weah, or whether it was a government scholarship. We want to try to, because that debate has been on, and so we want to satisfy our listeners and our viewers tonight by pulling out that video when the president met Emmanuel Tulu and other stakeholders from Nimba County. Nimba, right?
Yeah.
Stakeholders from Nimba County. I will be playing that video tonight so as to satisfy our curiosity whether the scholarship given to Emmanuel was personal scholarship, or whether it was a government scholarship. So if that was the case, difficulty with his school fees being paid. Although we understand that the deputy managing director for operations, hopefully we'll be speaking with him briefly. If at all we can establish contact with him, we understand he has already paid the tuition. But let's try to get this straight tonight, because the confusion is still in the air as to whether the scholarship given to him was President Weah's personal scholarship or whether it was a government scholarship. Let's try to get it straight quickly and play, and after which we can talk about that.
Signal to as a nation, this story that's going world.
Everybody believes that because things are hard, we should not be honest. I think it's set a record. If what he did was well, thank you. I'm glad you brought him. I just wanted to see him. Is in our society where things are so hard, everybody believes that because things are hard, we should not be honest. But I think it's set a record. If what he did was part of the Nobel Peace, we'll be writing for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize is all criteria. This one today, I just called a young man, Emmanuel. So we can appreciate it because he had taught the other young people, that doing the same job that he did. And, I was just joking with my friends. I said, during our time, if we found $5, the president of one radio said, in the society, he did not just find money. Found that livelihood was somebody more than almost 50,000 who will return a young man like this should have found 50,000 will return it because somebody speaks on radio. So you can see the level of honesty and the level of training. So he must give respect and praise to the parents, the entered, read him, maybe they entered taught him and technical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you take it back. So it's a good teaching. So I hope that young people will take it as an example of how you live no matter what, to be help people and be honest. So that he made another life. The woman lost the money. And people are just sick. I say, don't worry about it. But he decided to be honest and take it back. It is a good thing. So that I just wanted to see him. So also I followed the conversation. I asked people who the young men, but they told me some stories about him. And even the motorcycle that he was riding, he said this is a dropout from school. He's a young man that could not afford to go to school. But he found 50,000 would take him to school, but he decided to take it back, even though he's not in school. So you see? So it doesn't matter his condition, he decided to be honest. So we also have to be honest with him. And that's why I found it rewarding, to say, you know what, let a young man come. First thing I'm going to do, maybe a scholarship. This is not going to do a government scholarship, it's going to be a scholarship for myself. And then what's the class in again? 7th grade, dropout. Doesn't have the ability to do that. So from the 7th grade to up to master level in Liberia, I'm going to I'll give you that scholarship. And so even when we're not in government again, you will have me as a uncle to pay your school fees. So that's what I'm going to do. And I brought a personal gift.
Okay. I think that's the core of what we wanted to listen to on that tape. But let me hear from you first, your own takeaway from what you listened to, George.
Well, this story made headlines in Liberia, and they had other people with distracting opinion. But like the former president said, it was an horrible story. And I love what he did as a former president. He said he was going to take responsibility of the child. And even he's not in government, he was still going to pay the child's school fees. He said this would not be a government scholarship. But if the child is not in school, I would like for government to support him. Because you see, in a society where someone found more than 50,000 United States dollars and return it to the owner, that person must be someone of high character. So if probably former President Weah has forgotten that he made commitment, because he says a government scholarship, I know that Ministry of Education will have taken hold of the matter definitely, and then document it as a government owned. But in his own statement, he said his mine, and this is not a government scholarship. But the child should not suffer. He should not be made to walk around and suffer in the town. I think if at all there is no support, the government should not allow him. The government should not allow him to suffer. The government should take control so that others in society can see him as an example for them to exhibit good behavior as what he did. So.
Well, let me just give you the information. Maybe you don't know. The deputy managing director for operations at the LPRC also paid his tuition. I think some $2,000. But the reason why we sought to play this tape because there was this confusion. Some were saying, well, maybe the president, former President Weah, didn't say, he didn't give the scholar, or he didn't award a scholarship to the integrity outcome as in his personal capacity. Rather, he did in the name of the government. In the name of the government. Yeah. So I thought that it was quite necessary for us to play this tape, so as to satisfy the curiosity of our people, so that they know exactly what the former president said. He said it bluntly. He said, "What he was awarding the scholarship in his personal capacity. And from the level of, I think, second grade, or seventh grade to master level. So if there was a situation for which the young man was not in school, I thought it was on the on the shoulders of the former president to have intervened quickly, because he indicated to the boy that he would have given the scholarship from the grade level to master's level. So I saw that, yes, even if he was not in government. So I thought that he should have allowed this to come into public. I know apparently when the boy was thrown out of school, I'm sure he made some effort in getting in contact with the former president. But if he didn't, then that was it's a responsibility. But I'm sure because he was given a communication, a letter from the former president. So I'm sure he had a communication in his possession, and maybe he was trying to get in touch with the former president to get his tuition paid.
I would play the devil advocate on this. I would say probably the former president has forgotten.
Okay.
I would say probably he's basic. He's a kind of basic person. Probably right now he's basically thinking about his party headquarters and other things. So this type of thing has not reached to him. So I'm sure that they will settle it. But the message was clear. It's not a government scholarship. It was his personal scholarship. But I'm also happy that the deputy for LPRC has intervened. And actually, I want the government to take seize of this matter to educate this child. And, let him not feel abandoned. Probably former President Weah is busy and other things. He started a very good initiative. I don't want to downplay it. I don't want to downplay what he started. Because if you see the number one citizen in the country rewarding nobody, I mean, not that to say the little child is not a good human being, but as someone who is particularly unknown, to try to even interact with him and then offer to educate him, that was a blessing for that child. And so I don't think that blessing should be tampered with. I think this government should look at it and then try to take seize of our matter. Not only it should not be like somebody doing goodwill, even though the DMDA has done extremely well. It should be that the government taking seize of the matter to educate him.
Yes, because this young man was honored as integrity icon. And what he did basically was something that other young people could have, learned from. So men of that nature, or kid of that nature, he needs to be given this sort of attention. I'm sure it was against that backdrop that the former president decided to honor him and give him the scholarship. But then it was unfortunate that he had to be thrown out of school, and then they came in the public, the noise, and so it was confusing for many people, because there were some people who didn't think that the former president had given him or awarded him a scholarship personally. There was some who thought that the former president had awarded him a government scholarship. But that was clear, and that's the reason why we sought to play this tape tonight. I think the former president said he was giving him scholarship personally, even if he was out of government. He would have still continued supporting the young man. So with that, now we're hoping that the young man can still be in contact. He and his family can still be in contact with former President Weah. I know former President Weah is not one who, in fact, before even he came to government, he was being kind and magnanimous, giving lots of people. I spoke with someone who was in his government, was holding a very top position, and the president indicated to me that, look, when the former president was away, in fact, during the war years, he was always helping Liberians in Ghana. And according to this president, they said they even benefited from his scholarships. They gave lots of Liberian scholarship, and not only scholarship, he also gave them some aid. So I know before he came to government, he was magnanimous, and he's still magnanimous. So it shouldn't again happen that this young man will be thrown out of school, especially where it is recorded. It's a record that the former president had awarded him scholarship up to master's level. So I'm hoping that he himself and his family can be in contact with former President Weah. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on Plum FM 105.5. The program is also being relayed by Radio Gegeman, Radio Kwatika, and of course Radio Wologisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live tonight. We want you to share the show. Please, if you're watching online, share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow and get to know what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. So please share the show. Again, you want to share the show, you want to watch online, just go on your Facebook page where they have the search, just tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you tap those 3 words, the programs will just surface, and you can just watch and share as well. If you are using your laptop or your phone, just go to where you can get your YouTube channel, and you just tap Nighttime Heat. Again, you subscribe. After you've done so, I know you want to watch the show religiously on YouTube. Just hit the notification bell so that anytime the show comes on, you are live. You watch the show on your YouTube channel. So, I want to share tonight's show. It promises to be very, very interesting. We'll be talking when our guests come. We'll be treating 2 major topics. One, I'm sure you heard about the shooting of a man called Matthew Wright, somewhere in Matthew Morba. He was shot by a police officer. Some said, he had a mental problem. Well, we don't know the exact story, but Matthew was seen in handcuffs. So when was he handcuffed? Was it before he was shot or after he was shot? Let's know. We need to talk about that. Tonight we'll be playing the video. The RG, the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, came out immediately, when this incident happened, and he explained to the public as to what had happened. So we'll be playing that tape, and then we'll do our own analysis when our guests come in. We expect to have our own Emmanuel Fambula should be supposed to be here tonight. I'm sure David Cole will also join us. Morba representative, small Morba will join us. The House of Representatives and the Senate today rezoned. You'll be joining us tonight also, so we can talk about this. Then also we'll be treating a topic. We'll be looking far ahead of 2029. Some new political parties are sprinkling up, and there are some individuals who think that President Boyka should be retained 2029. Well, he's capable to do so, but some believe that he should be retained. Or if he's not, do you think VP Cole is suited to replace him? In fact, we are hearing also in the air about former about Finance Minister Augustine Boyka. So, do you think if it is Gafwan or VP Cole, who should really occupy the slot for UP? Or are you looking at the second comeback of former President George Weah? Do you think Weah has the capacity, he has sort of the pedigree, he has sort of what he had before, for which the Liberian people elected him? Do you think Weah needs to come back? Or is it the CMC Musa has ability? Do you need a new face like Musa, or the PFP of Sir Joseph? Do you think Sir Joseph need to come? Or maybe the man who's supposed to be announcing his political party anytime next year soon, Creighton Duncan? You think they want somebody of Creighton Duncan to occupy the presidency? So we'll be giving you all those names. Or the Alexander Cummings. You think Cummings needs to occupy the presidency? Should Cummings be given a second term? So my guest now, along with my panelists, will be critically looking at that, so as to also prepare you, because we'll be talking about some of the records of those individuals, some of what they've done and what they have not done. What do you think they should be? We'll be talking about that. We wanted to share the show tonight because it promises to be very, very interesting and feisty tonight. So kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also form part. Let's try to take a few calls quickly about what we've been talking about regarding Little Emmanuel Turo. That's the name, right? Okay, let's try to take a few calls. Just tell us about what you think. Although his tuition has been paid by the deputy for operations, the deputy director, deputy managing director for operations at the LPRC, he has paid his tuition already. But how do you think we can avoid this from happening in the future? Let's hear from you. 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Or better still, 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. That's the numbers to call and to alive on the nighttime heat tonight. We want to take a few calls quickly. 0778 460 793. Let's take a few calls quickly. I'm sure they're trying to make some effort to speak with the man who paid his guy tuition. So yeah, for him, I didn't get in contact with little Imaya Tula, or did he relieve him of that burden? But we're still trying to establish contact with him. As soon as that happens, we speak with him quickly. But in the meantime, just put the calls 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Or better still, 0778 460 793. Again, 078 460 793. That's the number to call and to alive quickly. 0778 460 793. 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. We played the tape. You heard the former president talking to Imaya Tula. Let's hear from you, your name.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Gordon Ware Jr., and I'm joining you from the car with there.
Okay.
Yeah, let me say a little about, Emmanuel Today, the integrity icon, the former president of Banda. When that young man, found out money and decided to get it to the rightful owner, this president took that young boy and he was reading with him. Now, we have the Ministry of Education, for example. The Ministry of Education has got what we call international scholarship to honor them. Instead of this president or this former president, reaching out to the board through that system, the Ministry of Education decided to agree with the man and take pictures and make it look that he was doing everything for the man till the man graduated. Till the man get married from high school. That was his promise. But see where we are today. In the past, everything that this former president did, they were personalized. We have projects all around the place, even national projects that passed through the budget that maybe he was building and want to complete it. This government want to complete it. Oh, that we have project, all around that we have project. But this other project, just a young kid, to just sponsor for us. Because like feel to do that.
Okay.
Why is it that I will put it in that it doesn't feel? It's still everything this president has still.
Okay.
So we want to say thank you to Iris Side who have gone to the rest of this little chat and they have shown all of them because the former president have led it.
Okay. Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks. You made your point already. Many thanks. Many thanks. Let's take additional calls 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Or better still, 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. That's the number to call, and you are live right here on the nighttime heat. Let's hear from you quickly. Your name?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Let's hear from you quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Former president, been helping people for a while. And helping too. Strong at good theory, especially for people to say me. Okay, I hear that. Please.
Okay, that it is 0778-460-793, or better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the number to call, and you are live on the nighttime heat. We still trying to expect calls from you. 0886-050507, or better still 0778-460-793. Although the boys' school fee has been paid, the integrity outcome was done by the deputy managing director of operations at the LPRC. Thanks to Mr. Say, he did extremely well. But we thought that they were quite necessary to address the confusion in the air. There were some individuals who thought that the former president, we are, awarded the boys scholarship personally, and not in the name of the government, and others felt that he did in the name of the government and not personally. So it's played as tape tonight, and you listen. The former president said, "Well, I'm awarding you this scholarship in my own name, and in fact, even if I'm out of government, I'll make sure to support you up to master's level." So it means he disconnected the government from the scholarship awarded to later Emmanuel Tulo. 0778-460-793. As soon as our guests join us, we start the discussion rolling. 0778-460-793, or better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the number to call, and you are live right here on the nighttime heat. Again, the same link. The same link. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0886-050507. Very, very shortly, we'll get into our next discussion. We want you to share the show. Can you share the show? We are streaming live on Prime FM, Monrovia 105.5, and of course we are also streaming live on the Nighttime Heat Facebook page and the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. As soon as you go on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel, just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course you're going to follow the show and share the show as well. We want you to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your friends, your loved ones can all follow and of course be part of what is happening tonight. Very shortly, we'll be looking into the debate. The last night, the Liberia National Police held a night vigil, and according to the police, they were praying for their officers who were wounded by the guy who was shot dead. We'll be talking about that. How did that happen? In fact, his picture has been on social media, handcuffed. So when was he placed in handcuffs? We'll be looking at that as well when our guests join us shortly. And also we'll be trying to look ahead of 2029. Who's best suited to serve as our president? Should President Bawka be retained, or he shouldn't be? Should the VP Cole, or should someone else the party, maybe some of the big wigs the party, like the Gafuan, occupy the party slot? We'll be asking you that question. We'll be discussing that tonight with our guests. Or should Alexander Cummings of the is it CPP? ANC, okay, Alexander Cummings should Cummings now occupy. Should Cummings we'll talk about that, please. I beg you. Don't jump the gun here. Should Cummings occupy the presidency? Or should George Weah have a second come back? Or do you need a new face, a new breed, a new blood, like Hassan Musa Belede? Or Sir Joseph of the PAP?
Yeah.
Or maybe the man who will be shortly announcing his party being very soon next year, Creighton Duncan. Creighton Duncan is a presidential material. We'll look at that as well tonight as soon as our guests join us. We are expecting them. In fact, one of our guest just came in. We're still expecting and Sumo Molba to join us quickly. As soon as he joins, we'll start the ball rolling very shortly. Very shortly. So please kindly share the show. Share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening. Gentlemen, okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to Mr. The little child, how we call him, our interpreter Akon. I want the government to take cease of educating him, put him on the Ministry of Education. Instead of it being an individual issue as the former president did, and probably he forgot. I still want to play the devil advocate here. I don't want to go political on this because I know that he's been helping other people before. But probably he forgot. He's busy. So I think the government, this is a big proposal to the government. It doesn't cost. It will not break Liberia down if the Ministry of Education takes control of this matter, educate that child up to master's level, as the former president said. It was a policy statement, so the government has to.
Yeah, but I don't think, and I think let me differ with you a bit. I don't think it was when the former president was awarding Emmanuel the scholarship. I think you listened to the tape that we played.
Yeah, he said
he didn't say it was a government scholarship. He said it was his personal scholarship. And even if he was outside of government, he would have still. So he's still alive, sure. And he has the capacity. Like we said, former president, we are been doing it before.
Doing it for other people.
And so it's just, I'm sure it was just a little misstep, maybe on the part of the Emmanuel Tule's family.
To avoid a misstep, if it is a government program where it's directly enrolled, we don't want to break down where the child education process will be reduced or public ridicule as it's already gone like this, until his kinsman from Nima County, who happened to be the deputy for operations at FPRC, had to step in to pay. There'll be like, it's clear this person is in the school, is on the government scholarship, the Ministry of Education takes care of him. And I think that would be better. I appreciate what the former president did. In fact, by honoring him and parading him publicly, that alone serve as an encouragement for other young people, young kids who maybe were not transparent in life, to find 50,000 United States dollars or more than that and return it to the owner when you are very poor, a school dropout, riding motorbike. That was, if in a white man home, that child would never catch that time.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. So I think if we institutionalize it, it's better. We applaud the effort of the former president. He did extremely well. Exposing him to us. But you see, sometimes when these politicians get busy, so now things can go awry.
Okay.
And that's what happened. I'm not trying to undercut. You saw me. I tried to be apolitical on this. But I think.
Let's hear Mr. Fambola, his thought on this whole Emmanuel Tule stuff. Although some interventions were made, but we just played the tape. When the former president met him and indicated that he was awarding a personal scholarship to him up to master's level and not a government scholarship. And so let's hear your take on that.
Yes. Once again, good evening to you, Slava, and to my big brother Kennedy, and to the people in Radio Land. Well, I actually did follow that Emmanuel Tule issue when it happened. I think he was a motorbike rider who discovered this parcel along his route, and then he was magnanimous enough to report said amount of money, as a young man. That was very honest of him. And these kind of young people are difficult to come nowadays in a country in the world where young people are looking for luxury. That young boy could have taken that money and say, look, I'm blessed, and just, do whatever he want to do with it, maybe establish some kind of a business rather than even doing the motorbike ride. But he took upon himself and reported it to the police and said, look, I found this thing. I don't know who it belongs to. And luckily for the lady who lost that money, she was able to recover such a huge amount of money. It claimed the attention of the public, and the president sent for this young man, brought him to Monrovia. He went to his Jamaica resort, where he was paraded as an integrity outcome. I think, like you guys have said it right, President Weah, we knew him from that standpoint. Even during the war days, he was in going to refugee camps, trying to help Liberians who were stranded, paying, sending people to school and so forth. And again, these things again, sometimes people actually is slide out of your mind because he's busy, trying to get settled down after he lost the presidency, the family stuff. When he came the few times from Europe, he said he had to go and help his son to find a football club. So he's busy. However be it, Emmanuel is a Liberian outcome. Like I said, these kind of young people are not easy to pass by. I can say this: even if a young man today find $1,000, maybe you walking down the road and $1,000 slide from your pocket. So many of them will even step on it so you don't see it, and then you go, you take it. But that was courageous of him. So, like Brother Kennedy Rugby said, the Ministry of Education has many scholarships, local scholarship, international scholarship. You can put this kid on one since he's still in grade school and push him through until he finished high school. And then after that, now you can ask him, do you want to further your education to tertiary level? You want to go to the University of Liberia? Yes. Even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they all have scholarships. So it's just the process of you trying to put him on it, so that you encourage other young people. Because like you said, what happens if the person who's doing it now also gets tired? Then he slide off the way, and then he starts to regret.
Let's try to welcome Representative Smooth Molba to the program. Rep, welcome to the Nighttime Heat once again.
Thank you so much. I would like to say good evening to everyone. I hope we have a fruitful discussion, and I would like to say good evening to people like you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's try to get your take. I'm sure. But let's try to get into our second discussion quickly because time is not in our favor. I know you all followed the situation involving the shooting of Matthew around the former LACC headquarters. He was shot by police. There are some indication that he was mentally ill, according to some people. We don't know exactly, but let's try to hear from the IG, the Inspector General of the police. After the incident, he came up immediately and informed the public about what had happened. So let's try to hear this from the IG quickly. Let's listen to him.
Good evening to all. This brief is about officer-involved shooting following multiple stabbing incidents in the Congo Town area. On October 8, 2025, at approximately 14:58 hours, the Liberia National Police radio room received a distress call reporting that a police officer had been stabbed multiple times near the OLACC building in Congo Town. Responding officers identified themselves as police officers and ordered the suspect to surrender. After repeated verbal commands were ignored, officers attempted to breach the door. The suspect charged with a cutlass, striking and deeply wounding a second officer. The wound was still on his arm when he raised his hand to protect his head from being hit with the cutlass. A third officer intervened and successfully disarmed the suspect of the cutlass, unaware that the suspect had a concealed knife tucked in his pants. The suspect then stabbed the third officer in the thigh and attempted another thrust towards his abdomen. Facing an immediate mortal danger and in accordance with LMP use of force continuum, one of the officers discharged his service weapon, instantly neutralizing the threat and preventing further harm to his colleagues. The suspect and the injured officers were all rushed to the JFK Medical Center, where one officer remains in critical condition. As we speak, he is undergoing surgery, and following the emergency treatment, the suspect was pronounced dead. The La Brea National Police deeply regrets this tragic incident and extends heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and urges the public to remain calm while we keep the injured.
Okay, gentlemen, we listen to the tape, but let me welcome Mr. David Coty. He just joined as well. Mr. Coty, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here once again.
Okay, very loud. Let me hear first from, I know I'll come to Representative Mulba, but let's hear from Mr. Edwin Fambola. Mr. Fambola is studying law. The police RG just explained basically what happened.
Saba, just a minute. You were on something before coming to this IG issue concerning the president, the former president.
Okay, Mr. Coty, we've done with that already. We've done with that, please. We've done with that already.
But
So let's no, we are not going into that anymore. We've done with that. We are on our second topic now. That's the main topic we are on. Okay, so let's hear from Mr. Fambola. Some distraction. Let's hear from Mr. Fambola. Gentlemen, we're getting some distractions from your back. Please check your bag. We're getting some distractions in studio. Mr. Fambola,
Yes.
listen to the IG. What's your takeaway?
You know, as a person who's studying to become a lawyer, our professors always tell us that before you come up with a judgment in any case, you have to listen to all sides. Listen to the facts, and then you analyze it before you can make an informed decision. I've listened to the IG. I've also looked at the tape, because when the incident was taking place, there was a recording, and you could hear the police officer say, "Shoot," and the guy fired multiple rounds.
Multiple rounds.
Yes. And so now the caution is that, like you rightly said, it is believed that this guy had mental defect. Mental defect under our law is an affirmative defense. You cannot take somebody who crazy to court. So God forbid if you walk it down and when a crazy man take a rack and say, "I'm going to stone you," you have to make sure to either protect yourself. Then we need to also go further to analyze what actually happened before got in close contact with this guy. If the police officer received a distress call, maybe from a relative, how did he approach this guy to be able to be in a close, behind closed door? Because like the IG said, this guy has already injured another police officer. And then the second one was also attempting to breach the door and he got injured. But then again, you want to clearly analyze it. What actually anticipated all of these actions? And was that use of force the only option to the police? Don't the police have rubber bullets? Don't the police have stun gun to be able to neutralize him before? Because, so a life has been lost. And that life that has been lost is a Liberian citizen, however be it. I sat here the other day and I said, the guy who killed the police, who allegedly killed the police officer on that taxi stuff, if it is believed that he did it intentionally, he should have a severe punishment. So we're not saying that the police life should be at threat, because they have families, they have kids. When they leave their homes in the morning, their wives and kids are looking forward for them coming back, not to hear news that somebody have killed them because they're wearing a uniform. But equally so, when you look at the subsequent happenings of recent, a police officer get killed, and then few weeks time, police officer go to whether it was a distress call from a family member or they want to make an arrest, and 2 and 3 of them have got injured, and then somebody discharged a weapon and the Liberian gets killed. I think we need to go deeper into it. We need to understand what happened. Was he actually having mental breakdown? Because if he was having a mental breakdown, the police has reason to know that this is somebody that having a mental breakdown who is insane and having a weapon on them. So they should have a way to even engage him. But if they were unknown, if they did not know that, and they actually went into close proximity with him, and then he injured the first person, the second person who came should have also known that this guy is still armed, so they could have taken extra precaution. But for us to reach to that level where a firearm is discharged and the Liberian life is ticking, I think we need to deeper into it.
Now, are you concerned? But let me come to Representative Mulba. Rep, okay, he's out of there, and maybe his internet is giving problem. But let me come back to you before I go to Mr. David Cody. Are you concerned also, being a legal mind, studying law? Are you concerned as to when was the suspect handcuffed? At what point? Is it after he was shot, or is it before he was shot?
So you see, so you see, that's why I say we need to actually deeper into it, because if the suspect was armed, as you said, it is not possible for him to be on a handcuff and still inflict wound on a police officer, because once you are handcuffed, it means that you are restrained. But so what it tells you that apparently when he got shot maybe 1 or 2 times, it was when the handcuff may have been placed on his hand. And we are all saying this because we were not on the scene when this happened. But like I said, now we have to now deep dive into his history, whether he has a mental breakdown or whether he was normal, and what even precipitated this whole thing about he having cutlass in his hand and the knife concealed, injured the first police officer and the second one or so. So there's a lot, to be able to dip into to actually get to the bottom of this whole.
Okay, Mr. Cody, let's hear your version. What are you reading? What's your reading concerning what happened with the suspect being shot and killed, and last night police held a vigil. There are individuals who still concerned as to when was he handcuffed, because his pictures been on social media. Handcuffed, was he handcuffed before he was shot and killed, or was he did they shoot him before they handcuff him? What's your reading, David?
Well, I wasn't on the spot to know what happened first, whether he was shot before being handcuffed. But one thing I'm glad about is that he was shot dead. Simple. This thing about the man is a Liberian, he's a human being, that's not my business. He injured 3 police officers, or 2. Those people may not even live. Since a crazy man can't go to court according to our lawyer in studio, then something else must happen. The point is, whether you're crazy or not, a crime is a crime. Maybe the lawyer will help to make that clear for some of us who are not lawyers. But you cannot harm 2 police officers with knife. When you are crazy and you're doing it to yourself, that's a different thing. Crazy people go to the dumper, eat in the street. They're doing it to themselves. But if you're crazy to the extent that you will harm other people and maybe kill them, and police shot you dead, and people say he was a human being, he was a Liberian, that's not my concern. I'm glad that he was shot dead, or else you're going to kill more people or injure more people. So whether he was handcuffed,
So you think, Mr. Cody, you think the shooting of the suspect, you think that should have been the first approach by the police?
At that time, it was the best approach because 2 police officers were already injured. They are still in hospital. Who knows? They may not live. The best option at that time was to shoot him dead or beat him to death if it was possible. Yes, beat him to death or shoot him dead. So that was the only option. Thank you.
Okay, all right. You said it, George. You've been listening to this and following as well. What's your reading?
It is, first of all, I would say it is sad that a Liberian has lost his life. We said this repeatedly, telling the public about avoiding, desisting from attack on uniform officers. Attacking uniform officers is never the best idea. The only twist in this whole thing I may not make too much comments on this thing is because it's a story about the mental stability, the mental condition of the individual, which I haven't heard anything much about. But if at all he was sound enough, well enough, and took arm to attack uniform officers, those officers had the right to defend themselves decisively. That was not a rubber bullet issue. But if at all he has some prior issues, there's a history of prior issues, then of course that is an issue that.
But also, are you concerned as to when was he handcuffed? Is it after the shooting? Are you concerned about that?
Normally, what I know, I'm not a law enforcement expert, neither am I a lawyer. But normally, what I know in such a situation, if the person is shot at and they stay alive prior to taking them, they can still cuff them before even taking them to the hospital. But I don't know what happened there.
The fact that the person is shot at, like you said, do you think that person still have can that person still have the strength, or can they still have the force against?
So the only reason why a law enforcement officer or even a sheriff from the court will put a handcuff on you is to restrain you.
It's to restrain you.
Yes. So if you are disabled in the way that you do not pose any threat, there should be no reasons why anybody should put cuff on you.
So probably the individual was still strong.
Maybe he was still struggling, or he was still fighting, or whatever to raise the cutlass. By that time, now you have already fired two.
You already fired two.
Yes. So and let me say this to Mr. Koti. We are not backing the idea for for civilian attacking uniform officers, but we are in a country of law. And our laws are clear on these things when it comes to the issue of mental stability.
Yeah.
And there are reasons for that. And that's why I asked what precipitated the first officer to get into close proximity with this guy that has a cutlass in his hand and he got injured. His colleagues knew that his colleagues had reasons to know because, as the IG said, they got a distress call. So because for them, they are trained to be able to handle this kind of a situation. So they could have gone in there with all of their protection to make sure to neutralize this suspect before even the second or third person gets injured. Because the IG said he was behind a door with the cutlass in his hand. When the guy tried to breach it, that's when the second guy got, injured. So our point is that at what point did they know that this guy actually was, heavily armed with the cutlass? And what level of restraint that they use? Because when I saw the video of the shooting, there were more than 5 or 6 police officers on the site. In fact, they even had plainclothes guys who were there. There was somebody who was videotaping it, and you could hear shoot, shoot, shoot. And the guy, went out and opened fire, My thing is that we have to be very careful. Like I said, you want to hear all sides of the story. You want to know the mental stability of this guy prior to, this whole incident before you can be able to say what are the.
And also, you want to know when he was cuffed, when he was handcuffed. Is it after he was shot or before he was? Let's welcome Representative Momola quickly. Rep, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Sabo George, and I would like to say good evening to everyone and to our listening audience. I would like to say good evening to the people of District 3 and the Liberian people. I would like to say good evening to everyone. Yeah.
Okay, you are on this program with that sort of high esteemed respect and admiration, lawmaker of our country. You've been following this whole situation with the guy who was shot, Matthew Wright, by a police officer and around the former LACC headquarters. And also, I'm sure you might have listened to the police IG as well. What have you been reading as lawmaker?
Yeah, Sabo, first of all, I would like to say this. Is the incident is terrible, but then we have to look at the law aspect of it. Number one, I would like to say that the police have the jurisdiction, the authority when it comes to the level of force. So, under the police jurisdiction when it comes to force, first of all, they have what the verbal way of doing things, where they communicate to the person in question. And when you use the verbal force, when that cannot work, you also use the physical restraint. So for physical restraint, we have, but then what happened is the issue of we have less letter force and we have the letter. What happened is that when you listen to the police IG and you see the video, I listened to a lot of Liberians saying that the guy was, he was not in a good condition. He was a bad person. But I think that the first instance, the mob person used twice on a police officer. Then
Uh-huh.
they took away the collies. The next thing that happened again, he took a knife. So you have two different situations. A mob man will not go for collies. A mob man go for knife.
Okay.
It
You're
means
right.
that this person have a reasonable way of thinking. So when you go for knife and you shoot a police officer or a gash a police officer, we call that letter force in the aspect of policing. So when you do that, the police have the right to use weapons. I will say this:
Yeah.
the police have the right to use weapons. That's it. That's the police law.
Yeah.
You have a lawyer.
That is, let me ask you, Reb, let me ask you, because there are some individuals who are propounding the idea that the police could have used maybe tear gas to get this guy under control, then to use that, then to fire at him and kill him instantly. Don't you think that would have been the usage of weapon, the gun or the shot? You don't think that should have been the last resort? Then
No,
and using
yeah, Saber. A lot of
using
us, a lot of us in Liberia can read. If you read the police level of force, they have what we call the less lethal force. When the less lethal force is about where the individual use, use a means that will not cause death to any of the police officer. When that happens, you can use tear gas, you can use pepper spray, you can use anything, rubber bullet. But what happened is lethal force. This person gash a police officer. This person
Yeah.
does a harm to a police officer. When you do that, we have letter force. That less letter force you will use. You use the
so
letter
that warranted the police officer shooting him and killing him instantly.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
I'm saying this. I don't care how you change. I don't care how you change the word. We have less letter force and we have letter force. When you
Mr.
use
Mulba,
when you gash a police officer,
Representative Mulba, what it would have cost the police or those who went on the scene if they had used tear gas to get this guy under control and handcuff him?
let me say
There
this.
was no tear gas available at that time. No tear gas. So the only thing available was a weapon to shoot him.
Yeah, despite the availability of tear gas, despite the availability of tear gas, we are looking at the level of force from the police. One, when you engage the police without weapon, when you engage the police without weapon and causing harm, you use pepper spray and tear gas. But when you cause harm, on a police officer, right? The thing is that
I'm coming. The question I ask you, you have not answered that question clearly. So does that, because this guy used a cutlass first and later on he used knife, so does that warrant the police to have, to have shot him? Is that what you're saying?
so use knife and call us when? Like how? I want you to make it clear. And every people listen to us. Let me make it clear.
I'm coming. Granted, I'm coming. Granted, you used that and injured 2 or 3 police officers. But I'm asking you the question: does that warrant the police to have, used a gunshot on him and killing him instantly?
Slobo, what was
Yes.
the result of the cutlass and the knife? What was the result of the cutlass and the knife? It caused harm. And it caused harm to
Yes.
the police.
And could cause death to the police.
We have to protect the
You are not the one on. We are speaking to a lawmaker. You are not no longer in the house. Are gone. We are talking. We are presenting Mamba. We still want to get a clear answer from you. The fact that this guy, according to you, used cutlass, like the police IG said, he used knives, but he didn't use that. He didn't kill the guys. But do you think if the police had used pepper spray or tear gas, don't you think the police would have achieved its objective by restraining him and handcuffing him and taking him to the police station, then killing him instantly?
So we look at the availability of the tear gas. Why is there only tear gas?
That's what
You're really a waste of it.
We want to get on the other side. That's what Mr. Family.
Yes.
Do you agree with their argument that because tear gas was not available, so we should use live bullet on him?
No, that's a lazy argument. And let me say why. Because the other police officer that responded to the distress call, they should have gone prepared with everything. All right. So what if after that shooting a riot would have broke out in that community?
Yeah.
How would those other police officers get out? So it means that they would have gone there with all of their gears. And the second thing again, right? If you got a distress call from your colleague that there is somebody who armed, because the IG clearly said that they got a distress call from a radio in the radio room, and they dispatched a team. That team would have gone on our site fully prepared with all of their gear because they knew that they were facing imminent danger. They could have also had a gun with him. So as you are responding to this kind of a call, you go with your bulletproof vest, you go with everything. Because the first thing is to try to de-escalate first, to try to neutralize this person first. But again, like we're saying, we have not actually getting all of the facts surrounding this particular incident.
Let me ask a question. One minute. We've heard about the forces police normally use. We heard about proportional, right?
Proportional.
Now, let's try to compare and contrast here. This guy had his weapon as cutlass and knife, and police had gun. Police applied, the gun, and the guy was dead. He died
Instantly killed.
Now, is that force proportional with what the guy had? Let me yes. No. I'm not asking. No. I'm not asking you. I'm asking George Kennedy. George, yeah.
Yeah, if you ask me in this case, I will say yes. The level of injuries, I understand, because
But the less injured than
the cutlass,
so that make it
the
proportional.
cutlass can kill just as the gun can kill.
Okay, great.
Alright.
But the
We have to deal with
No. Please, you're very loud. Just be there. You and your representative. You're former representative and a current representative. You are on the same line. The question is, the guy used. We're trying to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure.
The guy used his weapon, which is the cutlass and the knife.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill them.
He didn't kill.
They used that and they killed them.
Very good.
So is that force proportional that the police use?
Yes.
What makes it proportional?
Because the first thing, by attempting to take the police officer's life and wounding him severely, under that condition, the police officer had the right to use his weapon available to him, and that weapon was gun. And the shot, and he didn't do it to one person; he did it to 3 officers. I feel in this case, that's why I say I wanted to know his prior mental stability before the incident could occur. Because if I'm to look at the whole thing that happened, for a single person to severely injure 3 police officers, then I would say the action taken by the police was okay.
Okay,
but
let's ask.
We want to get other information.
You are coming in. Let's hear
Yeah, Honorable Summer, let me just make it clear. I think I listened to Formula saying that the police, he expected the police to have gone with
everything,
tear gas and whatsoever. Let me make this clear. They operate based on presumity. So if the police gave a call on the radio, they will be looking for the next group that is very close to the incident. They will not come from the police headquarters. The next group that is very close, they will contact them to go in. So I believe those that went in they never, what they call from the office of the police headquarters. They came directly from
Are you insinuating that the police sub office doesn't have those equipment? They don't have pepper spray. They don't have any light equipment. Then only the guns they have there. Is that what you're saying, right?
We have response unit. We have response unit.
So the very first thing is that the IG is clear that they receive a distress call from the radio room. The radio room is actually located at the central police headquarters.
Surely.
All right. Yeah. And then you have the PSU and the ERU base right at the fish market.
The fish market.
You know. And then this incident actually took place in Congo Town. Mm-hmm. So the dispatch would have either come from Central or from the ERU base, where those guys are always there with all of their gear ready to respond at every given time. No. But like we're saying again, and like you rightly said, the force could be proportional, mm-hmm. given the mental state of the deceased. If he was in his full mental capacity, because cutlass can kill, a knife can kill. Mm-hmm. If he was in his full mental capacity, Bossman, please. Bossman, please.
1 minute. Yeah, go ahead.
You see,
you're speaking to us. Yeah,
you see, when these things happen, you have to look at the legal consequence of these things. Mm-hmm. And in my opening statement, I said mental defect under our law is an affirmative defense.
Okay.
If somebody is crazy and they have a knife in their hand, you have to make sure you prevent him from harming you. Because if he harms you, you cannot take him to court. There are many cases that have gone to court in this country, and the culprit was car-free because of the person.
Okay, now we have to go to our next topic. But let me ask you before we go. Mm-hmm. You are reading law. If this case went to court, let's assume maybe the family of the deceased decided to hire a lawyer to take the matter to court because they believe that maybe their son or the husband was killed wrongfully. Do you think the police officer will be held for murder?
If it is established that the deceased had a mental defect, the government of Liberia will take full responsibility because they had reasons to know that the police officers were engaging somebody who had a mental defect. That's the very first thing the law would do. You had reasons to know that Fambole is mad and he has a weapon in his hand. So you have to know exactly how to approach him.
And not to kill him.
Yes. And then that particular mental defect will have to be proven by a hospital or by a psychiatrist who are probably dead with him previously, that this guy had mental defect.
If the family pull out all those documents,
if the family put it out, definitely the government of Liberia will.
But I let it add that the police officers may not be charged with murder.
No.
Why?
Fine, because they may not have known the mental state of
mental-
that individual when the action was
that's why I
taken.
said,
I'm not a
yes.
lawyer, as I said.
Yeah.
But the government as an institution, no, get it out.
You said it, yeah? No, Mr. Famula said it. He said if it is proven,
He said the government.
if all those documents are proved out,
He said the government.
the police officer who did the shooting can be held.
No.
but
He said the government.
The government, the police work under the state. All right. So in this case, it is not going to be the government of Liberia not
Taking responsibility.
Not the police officer.
Not the police
So
officer.
then, who they going to charge with murder then? Who will they
There will be no charge of
No charge. The state will just have to, give
Compensate to
compensate
other
the family for the death of this individual. But again, that's why I said, if the person that made the distress call for the first police officer to go in, if that person had informed the police officer that this
person
guy
there
is mentally ill, and then that information was passed to the police, and the police had reasons to know that this guy was mentally ill, and they still killed him, then you can now charge the police officer for murder.
Wow. Now, Representative Mulbah, come in.
Okay, thank you. No crazy man is going to have a cutlass and then have a knife at the back. A crazy man.
Oh my God.
I want to refer you to a movie. Mr. George, with all your critical questions, let me refer you to a movie.
Go ahead,
It's
sir.
called Rules of Engagement.
Rules of
I want you to
engagement.
watch it.
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel
That's
Jackson, when he said that,
He said, wisdom.
at the end,
Right.
at the end, and all Samuel Jackson had to do was to give order to kill those bitches, and he had no regret.
Is
Because he
that
came back for one more.
That's the military.
I'm not getting it.
You see? Listen, Mr. Farmer is trying to tell you.
We're talking about the United States. Give me a break. We're talking about the ambassador of the United States being attacked. There was no war between military and military. That's the difference you got to get. Some stupid fools went to the ambassador and started shooting the ambassador. Somebody could have died.
Weapons in their head.
Yeah, but that movie is
Okay, Mr. Cody, in 1 minute.
Honorable Kuti, Mr. Jackson or the Commander Jackson got free because of one witness in that case that you're forgetting about.
Yes.
The Vietnamese general, commander on the front line, when they exchanged fire, the colonel killed the Vietnamese radio operator and left the commander as a prisoner of war. They asked the commander, why? Were you going to kill the radio man? He said yes, because the radio man was calling for reinforcement. All right? That from that point they got that this general could make good judgment. But what happened?
Where's the comparison here?
The comparison is between the person who did the distress call and the action of the police officer, as Mr. Famler was saying, to say if that distress caller informed the police that this person is suffering from mental problem, and they went there and they saw the person behaving like that and used the force, that particular force was being seen as unnecessary force.
And you see, that's why I say these things are not sentiment, right?
1 minute.
Slobber, these things are not sentiments. Like I said, there are a lot of cases of this nature that have gone to court, and the mental capacity of the person is assessed and is agreed upon, and the person was scot-free. Like we said, there are a lot of facts about this case that have to be put together, properly analyzed, before a proper judgment can be made as to who was in the wrong or who was in the right.
Okay.
That's it. But what are we saying here? What are they right? Who told you? A crazy man can even take a gun.
Yeah.
If You know,
You know, only 1 minute.
insanity comes in different ways, right? So look at you can be
What
right.
can I do with that? What can I do with that? I'm a senator, not a president. Me first, I will shoot you. Your president should not have a gun on you. I'm a friend there. If I'm a police, no.
Representative Mobile, Mr. Koki, you
The
know,
president is acting funny, acting stupid. That's a different thing. But with a weapon to kill me, I will tell you.
all right, Mr. Koki, 1 minute. Yes, that's here you, Representative Mobile.
Yeah. I listen to my two brothers. They're trying to shift blame on the guy that did the call, the police officer that did the call to Central.
No,
I
no,
want to know.
no, no.
No, but a police officer they didn't make a call. Apparently, that call came from a family member or some member of the community. It can be the police.
All
It
right.
can be
So
a
the thing here is this, right? The thing here is this. I believe the police, what they did was right because number one, no crazy man will change weapon. No one crazy will change weapon. And that's it. No crazy man will change
The
weapon.
president was walking it back.
The person used the call right.
Walking it back.
What the president man will go about change weapon?
President with two weapons.
The man's
President with two weapons. Walking it from in the back.
1 minute, Representative Mobile and David Koki. Representative Mobile, we'll have to go to the next topic. But I think from
Let's go to
what
the
I
next topic, man.
no,
Let's go to the next.
Yeah.
please 1 minute. I believe what I'm hearing from you and David Kogi, it seems that you guys are justifying the death of this man. You guys are saying
Yes.
the police
All right.
was fighting.
Yes.
It's
Represent.
I say that
One in the back, one in the front. Man, yeah,
Mr. Kogi.
I have never seen any crazy man anywhere in the world with two weapons, one in the back, one in the front, stabbing police people. Then you must
Okay, that's-
shoot you.
There are a lot of cases like that, even in the U.S.
We have to go. We have to go. That's okay. That's okay. So let's
Let's go to
put,
another.
let's put a halt now to that. The second topic that I want us to treat tonight is to look ahead of 2029. We are seeing some new political parties that are emerging. Let's the CMC, the PAP, and more to come. We understand. But looking ahead of 2029, gentlemen, the first question is that should President Boubacar be retained, or should there be a new face, either from the UP or maybe a new face from different political party? Mr. David Kogi, let's hear from you from that end.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Obed Baka should be maintained. And I can tell you this, I'm a united partisan. Those who are carrying this funny thinking that he's too old, he's not going to run for the second term, you are living in the Republic of
One minute, Mr. Kogi. Let's establish something here. Are you not a member of the CDC? Are you not a member of the CDC anymore?
Have I ever been a member of the CDC? Where?
No, we know that you were erecting some monument for President Weah. He's a former President Weah. And so it was the best.
That was football matter. When I was Secretary General of IE, George Weah was playing for us.
Okay, so
Let me go back to politics. No, let me say. I think Mr. Boubacar should be maintained. That is exactly what's going to happen. He's going to run for the second term and he will win. You know, when you hear some people from the opposition saying that nothing has happened, like in the case of Mr. Cummings, what they're really trying to say is this. Nothing has happened because the fire trucks are going to block their way. This has never happened in this country before. Nothing is happening because for the first time we have DEA pickups all over the country now. Nothing is happening because the CSA is putting into place a system that has never been in this country. Nothing has happened because there's salary increment. Nothing has happened because the roads today are pliable everywhere. Buses are going to China, Lofa, and other places. Nothing has happened because I, David Court, am sitting on LEC right now in my house. It never happened here in 6 years. Nothing is happening because agriculture is booming. Now, what I'm saying here, what is going to run for the second term? Uncle Joe. After that, United Party is known for 12 years. My colleagues will have their own views, but that's my view. United Party is known for 12 years, and the first 12 years will be under Ome Bwaka. After that, then people can come in.
Okay, so you are saying that there have been a couple of achievements, so President Bwaka should be retained, right?
Yes, and let me say this.
You said it already. No, I'm coming, Mr. Koti. Let's assume that for health reason, President Bwaka decides not to continue. Who do you think he needs to pick? Maybe between some hardcore partisans of the Unity Party. That's maybe because we know Gospel Gafwa is a hardcore partisan, and then he also has the vice president. Who do you think, for health reason, he needs to pick to occupy the slot of the on the ballot of the UP?
The man he needs to pick is the man who resembles the executive mansion. Look at him very carefully.
Who resembles the executive mansion?
Oh, yes. Look at Cohn very carefully and look at the executive mansion very carefully. Cohn is the man. Nobody else. You think you're talking about Gaffa? We haven't heard that name before.
Come in now, Mr. Koti. You have to allow to ask the question. Your argument is he resembles the executive mansion.
What do you mean?
Mr. Koti, you have to give chance. You say he resembles the executive mansion, and so he should be the one to replace if President Bwaka decides not to run because of health reason. Now, are you taking into consideration, because I want to know why you said he resembles the executive mansion? What sort of probability is he breaking to the seat? What exposure? What international exposure? What capacity is he bringing to the seat if you want him to occupy the seat and replace President Bwaka? Tell us.
Thank you. Let me make this clear. When I say resemble the executive mansion, not physically, but he's closer to it. Yeah, he's closer to it. You know, when you hear Ome Bwaka saying one time, if you want to see a car racing on a racing track in the garage, right now you cannot see more of Cohn because he's vice president. He's not going to try to overshadow the president, but he's closer to it. He's a vice president.
You are not answering the question. The question I ask you, what is this international exposure? Or do you want Liberians again to pick somebody who at the end of the day, the international people don't know you? So what is this international exposure that he's bringing to the presidency that you want to prefer him to maybe, let's assume, Gafwa?
We just gone 1.5 years, not even 2 years. So you might see, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. No, let me answer. You can't do that. Please, just 1 minute. We have not gone 2 years yet. It's just 1.5 years.
You wait for 3 years before you show international exposure? Is that what you're saying?
What do you expect the vice president to do? To start traveling around?
Let's go there. Representative Morma, please. Kindly be quiet.
Let me support my brother Koti to the I will just be supporting Koti. Yeah. The first thing, when you are a vice president, you take a seat.
That's what you say.
I'll support my brother Koti tonight.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, may God bless you.
Let me just say.
You're supporting with black. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. When you are a vice president, you take a seat as president. Remember now, when you are a president, You don't need to lobby it around for connection. People will come to you because you are the president
Yes.
of the state. Get that straight. When you are the president of the state, people come to you and you lobby.
Yes.
That's it. But then let me say this. With the issue of Unity Party, Buckeye, and the CDC to that of all other political parties. With all other political parties, I consider to be helping verb. They are not many
Yes.
political parties. When it comes to CDC, President CDC is a linking verb. They are not action verb. So the only action verb we have, even Unity Party is a linking verb. The only action verb we have is President Buckeye.
Right.
Without Buckeye, Joshua will take over. So if Buckeye, I'll tell you today, Buckeye will retain the position.
Yes.
Buckeye will
Yes.
retain the seat. Get it?
You support Koti, you supporting the message of Boaka, Joshua will take over. You supporting the man again?
Someone.
I'm supporting on that, yes.
Oh, you support
Yes.
So you support. All right, then
I'm supporting on that.
let's
We'll be together. Let's be together.
let's hold it up.
So I listened to the two
Oh, no, but let's
politicians.
work together and do the family.
Okay, David, you're not going to dominate yet. You had the time you spoke. Let's hear the other man.
We have listened to two politicians, the former lawmaker and the current lawmaker. But I think, like the both of them rightly said, I think what President Buaka has done in the past 1 year, 10 months or so, it shows that he's putting the country back on the right trajectory. And if he continues in this path and his health is good, he has a strong possibility of retaining the presidency come 2029.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is to just maybe put in more kind of an idea to see how best he stabilize the economy, how best we provide jobs for the young people, how best we get our work. And then if, like I said previously, if he continues in that particular trajectory, I don't see anyone beating him come 2029.
Okay.
Because
Let me ask you now.
like the honorable said, right? Whether we like it or not, our politics is now gradually driving towards like the Sierra Leone that have a two-party state, SLPP, APC, the Ghana,
Nigeria,
NPP, Nigeria, the same thing.
Yeah.
So gradually, our political system is getting towards that, and for many years, it's going to be around CDC, Unity Party. All of these people coming up, CMC, CWC, what?
EAP.
They're not going to be any faster.
So you are saying that if President Boaka continues on the path that he's on now, trying to provide jobs for the young people and improve the lives of our people, it's likely that he may be retained.
100%.
Okay,
Yes.
now granted that he has health problem, and he said, "Look, I can't, continue." What are you seeking this to pick now?
Well, and let me tell you, in as much I have not, been around here longer than the likes of David Koti and others, but there's something that I've seen in President Buaka that I've not seen in any of the Liberian presidency, including President Sirleaf. President Buaka, from day one, has started grooming his vice president to succeed him.
Yeah.
Most of the critical areas in this country, President Buaka has turned it over to his vice president, Jeremiah Kuhn. Today, Jeremiah Kuhn is the head of the energy sector. So all of these things that you see with the lights and stuff, most of the ideas are coming from him. Few months ago, he called a meeting of all of the energy stakeholders at his farm in Ganta. I was at that meeting. He laid out the roadmap for sustainable electricity in Liberia. And if you don't know this guy,
So is it on that basis that you think he's going to pick him?
no. He has already started grooming him.
Now let me come back. Let me continue with you. Do you know that Vice President. No, please hold it. You know that Vice President Kun originally comes from the MDR.
Of course, yes.
Now, so do you think that how cold the party partisans will want for President Bawka if at all he decides not to run in 2029 because of health problem? Do you think how cold partisans of the UP will want for President Bawka to pick Jeremiah Kun?
Again, let me tell you one thing that will happen in our country, right? What I've seen so far in Liberia is that we do not hold ideology to a party.
Right.
We all come at the specific time with the euphoria that we think this person is the best person to carry. Do you know that President Salif was not a Unity Party partisan? She came from Lab. But Unity Party people galvanized around her because they knew that she was the candidate that could win elections. So if President Bawka nominates Jeremiah Kun today to step in, Unity Party will rally around Jeremiah Kun and make sure.
So then what becomes of some hardcore partisans of the Unity Party who say, well, we can't think, we don't think that Vice President Kun should succeed the woman because we believe if he's in the presidency, it means that the MDR is in the presidency. And it's going to give the MDR most of the top jobs. That could be some Unity Party.
That's information.
No, I'm not coming to information. I'm not coming to I'm still talking with
So again, if you look within the ranks and file of the Unity Party itself, I can tell you that even they themselves know it among themselves that in the absence of President Bawka, the only person that is easily marketable to be able to retain.
Easily marketable?
Yes.
That's your interpretation?
Yes.
What makes Vice President Kun easily marketable?
Okay.
I'm not against him. I'm playing my neutral role here. And of course, I'm playing the devil's advocate. What makes him marketable? This a man, I'm coming. Let me take it back now. This a man who's national known. I'm coming.
I'm 100% VAR.
1 minute.
100%. I have no connection to Nimba.
Okay, now this is a man who comes from Nimba County, right? I mean, he's highly known there because of his business activities. So he's highly known. So what makes him marketable nationally?
No, but you cannot say that he's highly known. This is a man.
No, I'm saying he's highly known. I mean, he's highly known. Yes. But what makes him marketable for the entire country? How do you sell him?
The reason is that
what do you attach him to? Because if you're going to sell Jeremiah Kun, it makes a political sense. So the reason I'm asking all this.
I know that.
If you're going to sell Jeremiah Kun, it means you should be able to attach him to some activities to impact on the lives of people nationally. If you want to, what can you attach him to? What makes it marketable?
Well, let me say this. And like Democracy rightly said, right? As a vice president, you are in the back seat because the law says the president shall. If the president wish to give you a task to perform,
No. The issue of backseat is not. We are coming. Yeah. We are not talking about backseat here. All vice president. No, because the point is,
you're saying what he has done to
what has he done nationally?
That's what I'm saying.
What link him to?
That's why I want to say this, right? If you look at what he did in Nimba as a representative, and then as a senator that even brought him to the scene. Right? It tells you that
no. I'm coming on. You are talking about Nimba County. So when it comes to Nimba County, then you're going to get overwhelming votes. But I'm not talking about Nimba County. So if you're talking now to Grand Bassel,
so that's what I'm saying right now.
You're talking to Maryland, Grand Crew.
Politics is not one side fix. Is a conglomeration of different people that will come together on a ticket to sell an idea. So if Jeremiah Kun takes the leadership of the party, He's going to bring people on board that have influence in all of those counties.
Okay, let me leave you. So your point is, come in. Your point
If you have had the opportunity, you know a leader from your engagement with them. If you have had the opportunity to come in close proximity with Jeremiah Cohn and see his relationship, his people relationship, you will judge him differently. I'm telling you.
Come in now. 1 minute. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Jeremiah Cohn, let's assume tomorrow President Boakai said, well, because of my health problem or because of whatever reason I don't intend to go for second term, I want somebody from the UP. Do you see going to have a smooth sail with what is happening in his backyard? Koba and him, as we speak, they're not on speaking terms or they're not in good rapport. Again, Musa Bede has taken bulk of the Nimbabians. I just recently bulk of the citizens.
You're not doing well, man.
Let me say this clear. Next to President Boakai, the face of the Unity Party is Jeremiah Cohn.
Why?
Jeremiah Cohn is a partisan of the Unity Party. He registered winning as a partisan of the Unity Party.
But originally, hold it now. I agree. No. Let's try to set this thing straight. I agree. He registered as a Unity Party.
He is a partisan of the Unity Party.
Thank you. But originally, where did he come from?
President Boakai. President Boakai did not originally come from Unity Party.
No, let's agree that he came from MDR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so continue.
So even President Boakai did not originally come from Unity Party.
Continue now.
Very good. So I want to lay that aspect aside. Vice President Cohn has been given the international platform, local and international platform by the president. Goes to China, he goes everywhere that the president goes. The president sends him everywhere.
So I come in. Let me learn one point. Please, Mr. Now, you said that he's been given international platform.
Yeah.
Does that make him international qualified?
Yes.
Can he not go from international partners? Come in. As compared to others in the ruling Unity Party, Occupy. Let me please, gentlemen, you have to have a civil discussion here. Don't let me jumping all the
You hijacking the whole thing, man.
You're hijacking the whole thing.
Yeah.
Listen. Mr. Koti, you gotta be quiet. Please be quiet. Does that make him international qualified as compared to other Unity Party partisans who've worked in prestigious and then
I'm
not talking to you now, sir. I'm talking to the man.
I can say to you.
Mr. Koti, gotta be quiet, please.
The platform that the party has right now that he's utilizing is more like all the other Unity Party partisans that work. Yeah. Some of them work with UN, some of them work with African Development Bank, some of them work with this place. The vice president is currently dealing with UN, AU, OA, all the other international, including bilateral institutions.
Okay. Let's go there. So granted, according to you, that's international cloud, right? Right now, let me hear from you. Yeah. Do you think it will be an easy ride? Coming out, Chief. Do you think it will be an easy ride for him if he's named or he placed in a competition with a member of a hardcore member of the Unity Party,
For leadership of the party.
Do you think going to have
Fred, let me tell you this.
Fred,
let me tell you this. There will be no competition. You know the party who will be the Senate
No
President.
competition.
The next Senate President in the absence of the president is the vice president. It's already said.
No, you can't say that.
I'm saying it because the Constitution, even when the president is right now, the vice president shall complete the term of the president.
No, that's unassuming.
And you know what will happen there? You know what will happen there? You know what will happen there? If the vice president is to complete the president term, the party appoints the next vice president. Now election, the ruling party appoints what the Constitution says.
Mr.
Yeah.
And the question I said to you, do you think if tomorrow, let's assume
They have to go to primary.
they have to go to primary, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume that the woman said, well, because of some reason, maybe out of health or whatever, I can't continue. I will need somebody to run in 2029.
Why you want to woman sick? Why you want to woman sick?
No. Listen. Do you think the vice president will have an easy ride? And this coordinated party.
I really want to be very dismissive of this primary issue you're talking about. The primary that they had that brought the president. I'm coming. The party primary.
You can't do that.
The vice president at 6 years. That's 6 years. So until this 6 years finish, there will be no primary for president and vice president in the Unity Party.
No.
I'm telling you what is what is
the question I ask you.
The question issue is that if President Baka ends the 6 years,
okay,
thank you,
and there's a party primary to select.
Yes. Right?
I just say if he decides not to run,
that will be competition. It will be open for primaries.
Thank you.
Well, I can tell you.
So do you think? No, coming now. Wait. We'll be in the primary. So do you think hardcore Unity Party partisans who fought for the party as compared to Jeremiah Kun? Do you think the Jeremiah Kun have an easy route to ascend to the party? You have to be quiet. Be quiet.
It will be very, very easy for you. It will be very.
So why? No, please wait on there. I'm coming to you guys. Why and how?
The culture of the Unity Party. Let me go back just 1 second, few seconds. It came a time, President Salih did not want to let me unveil this into you today. In 2011. President Salih.
But what you guys
they don't want to carry now President Baga. She wanted to carry but you know why? She couldn't the party culture could not allow it. So she had to accept it. And accepting the want to win certain areas. So the party culture in 2029, if there's primary for Senate Bureau of the party, the next Senate Bureau will be Jeremiah will be
just to help you,
right?
Let me tell you, you want to help me. Like I said, if you have interacted with this vice president, you know the kind of person that he is. From day one, he's already started building the bridge with hardcore individuals in the Unity Party. I can tell you, and you can take this to the bank, there were certain key individuals that are hardcore Unity Party partisans that were campaigning to put their life on the line. President Baka did not even want to give them certain jobs. They had to go to Jeremiah Kun. He had to intervene for them. So, and what he has done, right? Like I said, he opened his arms out to allow everybody in. You know, one time I was listening to Honorable Solomon George, a hardcore seditian, and he said this on this radio. He said, if you have never interacted with this young man, you will know his kind of person that he is. He's down to earth. That's why I say he's marketable. He's easy to be marketable across the country.
So let me ask David Courtin and ask Representative Molba. Let me hear from Representative Molba first. Representative Molba, let's assume that tomorrow the UP say, okay, because we want noise in the party, and since that the old man is not running, let's not bring any crisis. Let's accept Jeremiah Kun, and you put Kun along with George Weah. Who do you think going to emerge?
So you want to fight for me?
I want facts from you. I don't want to be disingenuous. I want to be very honest. Be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honest. I want to be honest with you.
Yeah, be honest tonight.
The only one you have to march against President George Weah, the former president, is President Boakai. Without
Okay.
Boakai,
Yes.
there would be George Weah.
Thank you very much.
It's not a march for George Weah. It's no march.
Okay. It's not much. Thank you. Let me hear from David Koti. David?
Yeah, this is not about just agreeing with the honorable, but that's a fact.
Thank you.
Right now, no, actually, people may think we just want to agree with each other. Right now, he's right. The only man right now that can beat Weah for the second time flat is Ome Boakai.
Thank you.
Not that Vice President Koo is not qualified, but people are looking at a heavyweight. Now you kept talking about Koo is just calm. He was in this. We all been from party to party. I was some of the 10 largest party in Liberia, ACA, before I came to Unity Party.
Made your point. Mr. Koti made a point. He made a point.
You gotta give me time. He laying the business.
No, he made a point. He said if you put Vice President and we are going to beat the both people like what you said. So let's hear from the other side.
Well, I disagree. I disagree with politicians. You know, and let me say this. Right? Yes, let me say this. From 2005 to 2023,
You are not a politician. The CDC are coming. You are not a politician. You are an emerging lawyer.
I was born.
These guys are politicians. They are saying to you,
I was born.
I'm coming. They are saying to you that the only person who can defeat, who can defeat George Weah is Ome Boakai. So it means that if Ome Boakai leaves,
No, that's not true.
nobody can defeat it. Okay,
That's not true.
let's hear from you.
From 2005 to 2023, George Weah, with the strength of the CDC, has never passed 37 to 40% of the total voting in this country during the first round of elections. That tells you that over 60% of the voting populace do not agree with a George Weah presidency. 2017, we all were here. We saw the power play. We saw how President Weah became president. Whether we like it or not, we all saw that. Bossman, you were talking, I gave you chance. I gave you chance. And let me say this, like I said,
Okay, 1 minute.
President Boakai built a system that becomes very attractive to the Liberian people. If President Boakai provided jobs, if President Boakai starts to review these
And pass it on
concessions,
please be brief and pass it on to Jeremiah.
and pass it on to Jeremiah Cole, the people will follow Jeremiah Cole.
And you say you will defeat George Weah?
And you
You defeat as
Jeremiah Cole and George Weah in the race. If President Boakai don't, if he do very well, Jeremiah Cole will beat.
Jeremiah Koo is having a promise backyard. CMC taking part of Nima citizens
CMC
and Koga is running it.
before
You're now looking at all the corruption cases against the CDC people that are breaking them down. You're not looking at Samuel Koga saying, "Oh,
Please talk yours.
So let me say to you today, President Weah, former President
Do you agree
Weah.
with these two guys? The two politicians?
I don't even go.
They said
I'm not even going near them.
let me repeat that. Let me repeat what they said. They
Vice
said to
President
you,
Koo will defeat former President Weah in 2029.
what is he coming with? What is he coming with? To defeat
Okay,
former President Weah?
so let me say this to you today. The difference people don't know is, apart from the fight that Senator Johnson had in Nima County only to win, that he used to go 10th place, Vice President Koo now has a solid political party, an institution that stands with him, that can vote across the
You see that all Unity Party coming now. Let me ask you. You see that all Unity Party parties stand with Vice
that
President.
not all seditions will also stand with George Weah.
That politics.
So the
But
question
also,
Yeah.
with what is happening between Vice President Koo and Koga and CMC.
that is nothing there. That is nothing there.
It's nothing.
If Jared put his hand up in Nima County and Koga put his Koga will be running. in terms of numbers. We saw the just ended election. The vice president had to take off his coat to go from village to village to make coke out to win.
Are you optimistic? Are you optimistic? One minute. Are you optimistic that Vice President Kuru can defeat George Weah?
Sure.
Is that possible?
Yes. You know what
I'm coming.
Do you know what
Listen, I ask you.
Yeah.
What are the criteria that he's bringing? What is he coming with?
Let me tell you something.
To defeat.
Let me tell you something.
And that was former president.
Let me tell you first. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
First thing first, before even now Vice President Kuru could even decide to venture in politics, you're already a millionaire. He had built 100.
Is that money?
Listen. We have never did that for this country. You had nothing here. All the 80 million I know he owned nothing here. So
where did the Vice President build?
He built 100 bedroom hospital and gave it to the government.
So you make a reference to Nimaka. I'm saying to you, but the money are like this. I'm saying to you, so how much has it impacted the country? I'm talking about Nimaka. Because Georgia, before Georgia became president, he was well known. He impacted the country. He impacted the country, you know. So I'm asking you a question. Can people defeat Georgia?
What the president of football in Liberia when Georgia playing football?
What for playing football?
For all of former president, we are also see his presidency. They saw it, they know that he cannot be a good president. He cannot come back again.
So you think
he stayed? Had he stayed not become president? Had he stayed in opposition not become president? That different case. I will not talk.
Okay, well, let's go there and go to Alexander Cummings, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We see Alexander Cummings trying to make a comeback. In fact, he's been making a couple of rounds in communities. Also, we see the Musa ability and also visiting counties. And we just heard about a PAP St. Joseph, who he believes that people call him the Ebola hero, so he can run under as well and become president. Maybe that is sort of perception. Let's look at the three. What's your rating about them? Okay, let me ask you first.
Okay, so
Mr. Famble.
The very first thing from the time Alexander Cummings got into the presidency, he has not shown the Liberian people where is his constituency first. That is the very first thing. All of the political players, they will show you exactly this is my stronghold. President Boakai has a constituency that's from Lofa. President Weah, you can say yes, the southeast.
Monserrato.
Which Monserrato?
Okay.
Monserrato has always been the melting pot.
Okay.
It's always a melting pot where everybody will take significant votes.
So you are saying that Cummings has nowhere.
Even Maryland County, Cummings is from Maryland County. He has no base there. We've seen over time, even just the last election, these candidates can tell you that I've won my stronghold.
Okay, let's go on Musa ability.
Well, Musa is not going to be a factor. I can say this.
Why? He's not pulling vote. No, he's pulling them, and they're all supporting him now.
No.
Our
people will come out when you are a politician. You come to them, and they know you have some money to spend.
Oh, you think they
will come out?
So you think it's because of money that they behind?
But when the time comes to go to election, they know exactly who to vote for.
Okay, what's about St. Joseph?
Well. Again, it is a distraction from the city. These were the heavyweights of the CDC, the St. Joseph, the Thomas Fowler. So again, these are all of the difficulties that the CDC may face come to the 29th because you have all of these guys gradually leaving. So it could be, it will definitely have a negative effect on the CDC.
Okay. Representative Mulder, are you there?
He's not there. I'm here.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Let's hear from the court. I'll open the lines for a few minutes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to Musability, recently, about 2 weeks ago, I asked for the clip. I asked O'Neill to give you this clip. Musability was on his own radio station when I called and said to him, Mr. Ability, thank you for all your development initiatives, even beyond borders, beyond NIMBA, all over. Thank you. But neither the CMC nor you will become president for the next 40 years. I told him, and he laughed about it. And Oni even asked him, laughing about this thing the man telling you. So Musa Belete is only having people going to him because of what they call quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Something for something. People are rushing there because of the pickup, the money. Nothing else. As for Joseph will come over to us, leader one day. It's a strategy. Coming to nowhere.
You go nowhere. Okay, let's try to announce our number quickly because time and not in our favor. 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. No, 0886 050. I know that word. I know school of thought. I know why it's leading. So 0778 460793. 0778 460793. Let's take this caller. Quickly, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
This is Pascal Davis. I don't know which party is the member of. Sorry to ask. Look, Sabo George. Sabo.
Go ahead quickly now.
So I'm simply saying you can Musa Belete, Mr. Bouaka, 29. All of them on one ticket. With the hair at Bouaka. All of them, including Kote. You can land. This thing is not you get this costly. Look, somebody told me to say Tomopala. If you place a Joseph Tomopala alongside Joshua, they only won this election. Nobody voted for Joseph. It was because that we voted for Joseph. You know the history.
Okay.
Come here and say Tomopala. If people say no.
Okay. All right. Another call on the line. Okay. Thank you. You make a point. Let's take another caller quickly. 0886 050507. That's the number to call. 0886 050507. And let's do this caller quickly. Good evening. Hello. Yes, sir. It's low. It's low. Okay, we're trying to allow this call quickly for you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's hear from you quickly.
When it comes to everybody will see it's clear that she's even down to the burn. I just spoke in the studio that the Liberian people will not even carry George Weah. That's a blind lie. When it comes to Musa, they put on one time. That money will eat it black. We eat that money black. But we know she is good. She is going and will take and leave that everybody will be surprised.
Okay. Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks. I'm not calling the line. Are you good? Hello? Okay. Let's do this other caller. 86 050507. Hello?
Yeah. Good evening, Saba.
Yes, sir. Okay. Let's hear from you quickly.
Well, let me appreciate. Look, I like the question you asked. So, regarding 2029 election or Secretary of Kennedy. Look, I hear you saying that Jeremiah can face George Weah election. George Weah cannot be in or country when it comes to election between you. Let's be clear. So, 2029 when George Weah coming back, I want to know what George Weah coming back with. Hospital legacy that we coming back with. Now we voted George Weah out in opposition. Tell us what are things that you're doing that encouraging us that back or when you come back you will do better. What is it? We are not common promise that George Weah made when you were in power of the motorcycle who were 50,000. Hey, he promised that he would have paid that gas school university level. George Weah has failed.
Okay.
We just put out on a rate the official in this government to step in to pay the mandatory. So these are things that we go accountable for when you
Okay. Okay. All right. You made your point. You made your point. You made your point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. You made your point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Nobody was dividing back at the Liverpool. You didn't want president. Liverpool, you would decide who to be president of the previously supposed Ellie made president. Like the president. Because they now want their own president. Kuga. It's now the German who go back. Well, all the people why you looking for the next German who bless you doing the baking setup for today. Oh, forget. We have two parties to say, right?
Okay.
Anytime thing on that one, then you got to go to Sakat. You got to see that even maybe here.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You made a point. Let's take another call on the line. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
So I'm a super history. My name is Pony. I'm popular to know as Irresistible.
Let's hear from you. Irresistible.
I want to thank all of your panelists on this show. You have to be retrospective. Updating of history. Nima is Library Electoral College. 1997, they linked to Tito. 2011, they linked to Mrs. Elif. 2005, they linked to Mrs. Elif. 2017, they linked to George Weah. 2023, they linked to Pwaka. Take it or leave it. Where Nima will go, it don't have to be 100%. Whether 60, 65, 70%. Where Nima will lead, that person will definitely emerge in the election. Listen, take it or leave it. Put anybody on out of the ticket. You know the parties around the country. If you put your mark on the ticket, they will definitely go for you at the Senate barrel. Anybody go on the CDC ticket, whether George Yahoo, the parties around the country will go for them. Where the guy's 22 question is where majority of Nima will lead. All the parties around the country, the parties will vote for Unity Party, they will vote for CDC, but Nima is Library Electoral College. Where Nima will lead heavily, that side will definitely emerge.
Okay.
Jericho is not ordinary. And lastly, I will close on the lastly, Musa Ability, Simeon Fremont, the rest of all the people there, they are going nowhere.
Okay. Many thanks. You made your point already. We'll take calls up to 8:15. 10:15. You know, we close up. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Maja Boda, and I do join your conversation from two communities.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah. The issue I have to do is 2029, my brother, you need to ask questions. The Unity Party will retain its seat, and looking at the working of President Joseph Imambuaga, I think the people have no option but to carry for the second thing. Because the people will be looking at the tangible and the working of the woman, and then they giving a second chance.
Okay.
No need to bring people who feel by power again. Let us start wasting our time, right? Thank you for the time.
Many thanks. 0886 050507. We'll take about football calls quickly. 0886 050507. Better still 0778 460 793. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, your name?
I'm Jeremiah from District 5.
Let's hear from you quickly.
Let me say thanks to all of you who is there. But you see, the election coming 2029, we'll not see here for Georgia again. Look, I hear somebody say Georgia needs Ajota and other people there to win election. How Ajota win Monserrato County, then Georgia losing Monserrato County, then you say that Georgia needs Ajota to win. And what kind of competition in there? So I thought we don't want to be saying, people who voted for Ajota, few portions of them, the out of sympathy for them, Georgia and the number you got there. Look, Georgia never did anything in this country, it's been right on our country. And at the same thing you want to do, will not point under the power in opposition. And what are you doing? What the company is bringing? He get money. Let me get enough money. What the company or factory is bringing?
Okay.
He comes to say we won't go for him back. But he said that.
Okay, you made your point already. 0886-050507, or better still 0778-460-793. I will take 3 more calls. 0778-460-793, or better still 0886-050507. That's the number to call, and you are live on the nighttime heat tonight. Again, 0886-050507. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
How are you, Sobo?
I'm okay, sir.
Yeah, so we can discuss the issue about the incident with the police and the car that died.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, so for me, the calculation of the police was 100% right.
Okay.
You know, sometimes in this country, if the guy had killed somebody, then we say, we the citizens, people will come out and say, why the police wasted time and the guy had to kill somebody before. So if the man that is having a neck and is having a collapse and already severely wound 3 persons and he was fired upon, I don't think the police action was miscalculated. It was right for breaking it down.
Okay. All right. Many thanks. Many thanks. We have to take parting comments from our panelists and guests quickly, and then we'll wrap it up. Dave Courtney, let's hear from you, from your end.
Thank you. Any leader who will promise a small boy, a student, scholarship and fail to do so, all the students in the country will see you will lose the student. There's no way students in this country will ever take anymore. You did not pay that little boy's tuition until the 2 years school. It was somebody from LPRC who paid that money. You are a former president. You failed to pay that money. And because of that, all of the students in this country will turn against you. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Famule.
Thank you for the invite again. Like I said, we'll always be around to provide our input. But just to close up, I think you listened to many of the callers, and they actually back the idea that based on the trajectory in which President Boubacar is proceeding, if it continues, that he stands a possible chance of retaining the presidency if he's in good health. And the age, again, is not going to matter, because that has been proven around. Malawi just got a new president who is 85 years old. So it tells you that people are now looking at the age and the wisdom that that should comes with leadership. Okay. And then also when it comes to Jeremiah Cohen and George Weah, many people saw George Weah as being in the youthful category. But do you know that George Weah is older than Jeremiah Cohen? So even that, that's not going to play. Okay. And Jerry has, a leading advantage over George Weah based on, his interactions now.
Okay, let's hear from you quickly.
Thank you, Sobo. It is clear that Liberian people wanted to see President Weah become president to see as to whether he would provide good leadership for this country. But he flunked. He was sitting during the election, his own election. He was massively defeated. To think about coming back, that money he's going to spend, because he won't come back. On a serious note, I can say that he played to everybody.
Okay, all right. Thank you, George. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Famule. Thank you, Mr. Cody and Representative Molba, Sumo Molba. Thank all of you for your insightful comment and participation on the program. Let me just reference some of our viewers, not all. Gloria Boyu passed away from the USA. She's been watching. Sam J. Walker from Gatineau, he's been watching. Vinicius Gilliam Bar, did he say from where? V. Hadra, did he say from where? Frederick Shang Solon from Sound County, Greenville, Shadrach Heard from Kakata City, he's been watching. Roland Demoyito, been watching. Yini Guva A. Sam, been watching. Joyce P. Kong, been watching. Eric Passaway, been watching. Okay, we can continue. We have to go. Well, thanks to all of you for watching the program and being with us this week. We'll be back on Monday rather, for another fascinating edition of the program. Thanks to the producers. Sabo George is my name. Have a pleasant and restful night.